Hello again. So today we're going to learn a little bit about viruses. And I thought we would do that for a couple reasons. This week we have been studying the continent of Asia, right? And we talked about the Great Wall of China and the country of China. And we also know that right now we are home doing homeschool because there's a virus called the coronavirus that everyone is trying to not get or not pass along to someone else. So it's good to understand what actually is a virus. We also know that the coronavirus most likely came from China and spread from China to the rest of the world. So unfortunately, I couldn't go to the library to get a book on viruses to read to you because the library is closed. So I did a little internet research, and I'm going to share with you some information from a website called Ducksters. They have a lot of nice information for kids. Your parents may want to check it out with you guys if you're curious about a particular topic. They've got cover all kinds of topics. And so this is a little bit about the biology of viruses. What are viruses? Viruses are very small particles. Now, when they say very small, they mean particles that we can't even see with our eyes. They can infect animals and plants and make them sick. Viruses hijack the cell of living organisms. What does that mean? That means they inject themselves into the cells of other living beings and take over. Then they use the cells to make more viruses and take over more cells. Scientists differ on whether viruses are actually alive or not. So we've talked a lot about things that are alive and things that are not alive, right? We know animals and plants are alive. We know things like rocks and dirt and water is not alive. Well, scientists don't know if viruses are living or non-living. Right? That sounds kind of crazy. They can't figure it out. How could that be? Well, the thing is viruses have some characteristics of things that are alive and some characteristics of things that are not alive. So an interesting thing about a virus is that when it hasn't invaded some kind of living organism, it cannot make more of itself. It cannot reproduce. The only way it can make more of itself is to find what you call a host, right? So the coronavirus, when somebody sneezes and a little bit of virus flies and sits on a counter somewhere, it's just sitting there, it's just hanging out, and eventually it dies. It can't make more little viruses just sitting on that counter. It has to find a person or an animal to get into to reproduce. So the thing, though, about when the virus does find a host means, so what? So it's in your body and it starts to make more of itself? Well, the problem is that when it starts to make more of itself, it makes you feel sick. And that's the problem with viruses. So we know there's some things that you can do to reduce your chance of getting infected by a virus. And you've probably heard some of these, so it's good to keep reminding yourself. Number one, wash your hands. And this is probably one of the most important ones. And when you wash your hands, right, you got to sing the happy birthday song. Okay, so it's not just a quick with no soap. Soap and water while you sing happy birthday. You may have also heard, don't put your hands or fingers in your mouth, nose, or eyes, because that is actually how the virus gets into your body, is through those places: mouth, nose, and eyes. Now, there's other kinds of viruses besides coronavirus. Sometimes virus can live in meat. So certain types of meat you want to really cook well, because that will kill the virus. Another important thing about fighting off a virus is keeping your body healthy, because our bodies will actually on their own fight off viruses if we're healthy and strong. So there's a couple of things that you can do to keep yourself healthy and strong and fit, and your immune system working really well so it can fight off those viruses. And we've talked about some of these things too. And this is what I want you to think a little bit more about today. So number one, do you get enough sleep? Kids usually need, at your age, 9 to 11 hours of sleep. Now, you might need to talk to a parent about how much sleep that you're getting. But another good way to know if you're getting enough sleep is, do you feel rested during the day, or do you feel tired? If you're getting enough sleep at night, you should have plenty of energy during the day. Unless you're sick, or unless you're not eating the right foods, for example. So there's a lot of different variables, but if we learn to listen to our bodies, they will often tell us what we need. And we all know when we feel tired because we didn't quite get enough sleep, right? We can learn to slow down a little bit and just pay attention to how we're feeling to know what we're needing in that moment. So it's really important to get enough sleep. Number two, do you get enough exercise? Right now, we're all stuck at home. It's a little bit harder to get exercise, but it's still really important so that our bodies can fight off viruses. There's lots of ways to get exercise. We've built some of those into your daily school schedule, right? We've got Go Noodle, which is a lot of dancing. Dancing is great exercise. We put in Cosmic Kids, which is yoga, which is also great exercise. Even Tai Chi is exercise. And as a matter of fact, Tai Chi, scientists have studied it. And it is a known fact that doing Tai Chi builds up your immune system, which helps you fight off viruses. So doing your Tai Chi every day is an important way to stay healthy. So that's the second question. Sleep, exercise, and then food. Am I eating healthy food? And we also talked about this. This was at the beginning of the year. So it's been a little while. But you guys know about your 5 food groups. And we know that fruits and vegetables are very important. We know grains are good too, not too much grain. We know protein and meat is important as well. And it's all about not too much or not too little. And then we know processed and fatty foods with lots of sugar. We know those foods are not good for us. So think about the things you eat in a day. And think about, are you getting enough fruits and vegetables? Are you eating too much sugar or too much fatty processed food? Okay. So it's can be a little bit of a scary time now, right? Because we don't know how long we're going to be stuck at home, and we don't know all that much about this virus. But there are things that you can do to keep yourself and your family virus-free. So it's important that we do those things. And just to review, we can wash our hands and wash them well. Keep our hands away from our mouth, nose, and eyes. And keep our bodies healthy, right? So, enough sleep, enough exercise, and the right foods. And that's what I want you to really reflect on today in your journals is, do I get enough sleep? Do I get enough exercise? And do I eat healthy food? So you can write those questions down and answer them with some words or pictures. Or you can just draw some pictures of you doing some of those things. Maybe a picture of a plate of food that you might eat that's healthy. And after you do that, I want you to decide what is one thing that you can do better. So maybe you need to get a little more exercise. Maybe you need to eat a little less sugar. What can you do better to keep yourself healthy and virus-free? Pick one thing that you are going to think about and focus on going forward. Okay, so I hope this information was useful and you feel like you know a little bit more about viruses. They are complicated organisms and a little bit difficult to understand. But if you know some of the basics, then you'll probably feel a little bit better and you'll know some of the things that you can do to keep yourself healthy and safe. All right, bye.